It is April, which means it is go time for getting our plants going for the garden season, which is evidenced by the fact that I have 33 plants in today's video that I'm going to be sharing with you. And I am going to have timestamps in here because we have so many to get through. And this is going to include seeds that you sow indoors, seeds that you can direct sow in your garden outside, plants that need to be transplanted outside this month, and finally, any plant that doesn't really fit into those categories. And because I have so many to get through today, it's going to be a really quick one where I'm mainly listing them off with just a little bit of tidbits of information to make sure that you're successful. If you are in a zone 5 or warmer, then you can get started with these right away. But if you are in a zone 4 or colder, just check when your last frost date is and also how it's been so far this winter and spring. If it's been mild, then you might be able to get started a little bit earlier, but otherwise we have tons to get through today. If you're new here, my name is Bree from Urban Gardening Canada, and I garden in Ottawa Zone 5. And I want to know before we get started, what plant are you the most excited to be growing this year? I'd love to hear it in the comments below for you. Mine is the same pretty much every single year, which is ground cherries. They're my favorite to grow, and I just got those started a few days ago at the end of March, and I can't wait for this year's garden season. Of course, there's timestamps below as well, so if you are just looking for things to sow directly in your garden because you don't have space inside, you can just hop over to that section of the video. But without further ado, let's get into all of these plants. So let's start with the seeds that you can be sowing indoors right now. And the first are some of my favorites, which are cucumbers and squash. And these are really fun to grow because the seeds are so big and they grow really fast. So you do want to get your timing right in April for these ones because they will grow out of control really fast. If you're not planting until say June 15th, you're going to want to wait until probably the end of April for these ones. But this includes any of your cucumbers, zucchini, summer squashes like patty pans, pumpkins, delicata squash. Any of the squashes is a great time in April to get those ones started. Again, if you are really late in the season, I would honestly wait for things like pumpkins because the leaves can grow so big that you do want to push this one a little bit later and not get too excited and get these in the ground right away. The next one is corn. Corn I love to start inside because the pests can get to it really quickly. So I like to start these, and this can be either your sweet corns or even your popcorns. So by starting these inside, they give them a little bit of a head start and give them some safety from any of the pests. Another one similar to squashes and how they grow are your watermelons, cantaloupes, honeydews, any of those vining fruit ones. Now is a really great time to get these ones started. And in terms of the leafy greens, lettuce is a great one to be starting now. You can do another round of spinach if you had started some earlier. And then you can also look at Napa cabbages, bok choys, any of those ones that are leafy greens that actually prefer the warmer temperatures. These ones only need about 4 weeks before your last frost date. So depending on where you're growing, just time it for that one. So if you don't want to plant out until the beginning of June, you can wait until the end of April for these ones. All right, the herbs is really simple because there is only one, and that is basil. Basil is a heat-loving herb, so you are going to want to start this one. And you can actually start this one at the beginning of April and another one at the end of April because of succession sowing to make sure that it doesn't go to seed. So this one, I wouldn't worry about starting it too early because you can just harvest off of it until it's ready to plant outside. But again, this is a heat-loving herb, so you do want to make sure that you don't plant it out until it's nice and warm outside. All right, let's get into the flowers because there's quite a few of them, and especially if you like to grow a selection for growing bouquets inside or just to enjoy them with the pollinators. And the first one is zinnias. This one's one of my favorites. I actually planted it a couple days ago and it germinated in 2 days. So make sure that you plant accordingly for this one, that based off of when your last frost date is, that you don't plant it too early. The next one is statice, which is a really great one for growing for dried bouquets. So if this is something that you hope to do this season, make sure to add this on your list to plant in April. Similar to that is straw flowers, which is another great one to be starting if you like to have beautiful flowers in your garden, but also dried flowers that hold their color over the winter. And marigolds is another one that you could be starting. You can also buy this one at the greenhouse, but if you like different varieties of marigold, you can be starting this one from seed inside now, which is always a great companion plant in your vegetable garden because the bees really enjoy this plant. Another one for cut flowers is called Gomphrena. I really enjoy growing this one. And if you want to be adding a little bit of a weird shape and pop pop of color into your cut flowers, this is a really great one to add to your garden. If you want to add a pop of color in your garden and you have a shadier area, coleus is a really nice one to be growing as well. And you can actually be growing these ones from seed. I have a mixed pack of them, so you never really know what colors or patterns you're going to get. So it's a really fun one to grow. Calendula is a really great one that you can be sowing indoors right now. And then you can be planting this one out earlier than all of your other ones because this is a cool season crop. So by starting this one at the beginning of April, you can grow it for the 4 weeks inside and then plant it out early May to get earlier spring blooms. So I recommend using this one, and it's also really a great herbal plant as well. And then a garden favorite is Cosmos. Cosmos you can be starting inside, but you can also direct sow these ones. They do really good year over year, just dropping their own seed. But if you want to get a head start on bloom, start this one inside. Be mindful that Cosmos grow really leggy and tall when they're inside, and don't think that you're doing anything wrong with this. This is just the way that Cosmos like to grow. And another one is daisies or chrysanthemum. If you like to grow any type of daisy-like flower that's an annual, you can be starting these ones inside in April as well. And my final favorite flower that I love to grow are asters. Asters can be a little picky when it comes to trying to start them from seed, but if you can get them to grow, they are absolutely beautiful, especially in bouquets. So I highly recommend getting yourself some asters. I like to grow the big double varieties, but I also have these like almost black ones that are absolutely incredible. Okay, so that is everything for the seeds to be sown indoors. And if I went too fast and you have any questions on how to grow these seeds, you can actually just leave them in the comments below and I'm happy to answer them for you. And with that, let's get into the seeds that you can be direct sowing in your garden this April. Okay, let's start with the herbs first, mix it up a little bit, and they are dill and cilantro. These are two cold season herbs, and you don't need to plant them at the beginning of April, but they actually readily self-sow in the fall of the previous year. So they're used to going through this freeze-thaw cycle, so you don't have to worry that you've planted them out too early. But mid-April, late April, it's up to you. If you get out your cilantro and your dill seeds, don't even waste your time growing them inside. They grow so much better outside and you can get a really early harvest of them. So I do recommend picking a spot in your garden and getting those out now. Even if you just throw them on top and don't even bury them all that much, if your soil is still a little frozen, they're going to do just fine. So this is a great way to plant them. In terms of vegetables, the first one is peas. Of course, peas love the cool weather. If your soil is like mine, where it's actually still frozen, you're going to have to wait a couple weeks to put them out. But if you have nice workable soil at this point and the days are still nice and cool, but not too freezing, peas are a really good one to get out now. And the next one is broad beans. It's not grown a lot here in North America, but it's one of my absolute favorites, and it is a cool season crop, so you can get this one out early to get an early harvest before you put out all of your other vegetables later in the season. And these do a lot better direct sown than they do grown inside, so I highly recommend putting these directly in your garden and not growing them inside first. And the next two are radish and carrots. Both of these are cool season crops. So getting your radishes out now means that you get an early harvest, and especially with the rains that are coming with springtime, this is such a good time to be planting them out because both of these seeds like to stay wet until they've germinated. So by getting them out in April, you don't have to worry about watering them as much because the rain is going to do it for you. And same with carrot seeds, but just make sure if you do sow your carrot seeds thickly that you just lightly cover them, and you are going to have to prick out some of them once they start to germinate because you want to give space for those carrots to actually grow. Same for radishes as well. Sometimes it's easy to sow them very close together, but you do want to make sure that they can properly form a head. All right, in terms of the flowers, nasturtiums is the first one that you can be planting out now. In previous years, I planted it out and we got some really cold temperatures of like -10. And I was so sure that these seeds were never going to germinate, but they still did. So you'd be really surprised with how cold tolerant nasturtiums are. So as long as your soil is workable, get those seeds in the ground and they are going to sit there dormant until they believe the weather is exactly what they need to germinate. So get those in the soil and they're going to take care of themselves. I like to sow them at the edges of the beds to really give that billowing color. So don't waste any space inside of your grow room, just get these ones outdoors now. All right, as I mentioned, calendula you can sow indoors, but you can also direct sow these ones outside because this way the indoor ones are going to give you blooms a little bit earlier, and then the outdoor ones are going to grow as the weather warms up, and so does the soil. Another one is a bachelor buttons or cornflower. This is a really great one that you can just take the seeds and throw them out in the garden, and they are going to germinate in their own time and produce really beautiful flowers, not something that you need to be starting indoors. And this one, the bees absolutely love it, so I do recommend adding it to your garden. And similarly, alyssum is one that you can add. I am going to be growing a purple version this year, which I'm really excited about. And this one, you can also just throw the seeds in the soil and they're going to take care of themselves and grow. And these can grow until the snow lands on them. I've had my alyssum bloom until the snow killed them. These are such a great addition, and they bring in parasitic wasps, which is really helpful to fight against any pests in your garden. And finally, our poppies. Poppies are my nemesis. No matter how hard I try, I can barely get them to grow. But direct sowing them is a really great way to give them all of that temperature fluctuation that they need to really set in and germinate. So you can go out and drop those seeds in your garden as well. If you are newer to gardening and you're finding this list a little bit overwhelming, there are two ways that I can help you. The first is that I actually offer online garden coaching for you, which you can book on my website. So if you are looking for a little bit more specific help that is directed to your garden and your growing space and what you want to grow, you can check out my website. I'll leave a link for that below. But I also have an ebook called Gardening Basics for the Beginner Gardener. And this is going to give you all of the foundations that you need to either grow seeds indoors, grow them outdoors, and just grow a successful garden this season. So I will leave a link for that one for you as well. And it's really going to transform you from being that uncomfortable or unsure beginner gardener all the way into a very confident gardener. So why not give it a try? And you can actually scan the QR code on the screen or check out the link below. But otherwise, let's get into the plants that you can be transplanting out in April. So if you've been following my videos since the winter, you'll know in January and February, I suggested planting seeds for broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, kale, Swiss chard, spinach, onions. And so all of these can go out in April. And I know that this is something that I've been trying to push for a long time, because there is these old gardening rules to wait until your last frost date. But really, this is something that you should be ignoring at this point, especially as the weather gets warmer and the climate is changing. We really don't have that much of a spring anymore where we go from freezing cold to boiling hot. And it's really hard on those spring vegetables. So the earlier that you get them planted and transplanted out, the better chances you have of a really good spring harvest. So if you have been growing all of these, then it's time to, at a minimum, start hardening off these plants. So whenever you have a nice day that's above zero, you are going to want to bring those plants outside and get them hardened off. Start slow, only 15-20 minutes, and then you can upgrade it to half an hour, half days until they're ready to be planted out. But getting out all of these brassicas and these cold crops means that you are going to get an earlier harvest before we switch over to those excessive temperatures or heat waves that we're getting. And it's really exciting because you will be harvesting your kale and spinach and Swiss chard all before likely June 1st, depending on how large your seedlings are. And then of course the broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower take a little bit longer, but the goal is to be able to get a harvest off of them before we get that hot weather and they start to go to flower. And the final ones that I wanted to suggest that didn't fit into any of these categories is if you grow tubers like canna lilies or dahlias, now is a really good time to start waking them up from their winter hibernation. So depending on where you stored them, I recommend getting them out of storage and assessing the tubers to make sure that they haven't rotted or molded. And any of the ones that are healthy, you can get them into soil now. Give the soil a nice light water and then let the soil dry out until you can start to see any growth coming on them. And the goal from this is just to wake them up a little bit earlier, since it's too cold to keep dahlias or cannas in the ground all winter long. You just want to start waking them up and getting some of that growth on them, so that way you can get blooms earlier in the season. And as soon as you start seeing any growth on them, make sure that you get them out under grow lights and you start watering them regularly. But by doing this, this means that you're going to get blooms a lot earlier in the season, or that beautiful canna leaf growth to be able to have nice decorations around your property. So I do recommend getting those started now. Okay, and that is everything. I feel like I've never talked so fast in my life, but I wanted to make sure I could get through all of these plants in a decent amount of time. Over the next coming videos, I am going to be doing videos on how to sow your seeds properly and common mistakes that you want to avoid. And I'm also going to be talking about common seedling mistakes. This is different things that you're looking at your plant and you're like, well, something looks wrong here. What did I do? So I'm going to show you guys all of these different things that are very common that could be happening, and not only what it is, but how you can fix it. So if this is something that you're interested in, make sure to subscribe to the channel so that way you get notified when these videos come out. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and check out this video here. Bye.